Sadguru Sivananda Murti has developed a system of sadhana whereby one can commence sadhana in as is where is condition, that is, without waiting to first accomplish the usually recommended fitness goals. The spiritual master designed and developed a sadhana procedure and shared it with those of his disciples who were ardently seeking ways to perform sadhana. For this procedure, the only two requisites are 1. Unwavering faith in the sadhana procedure, 2. Considering Sadguru Sivananda Murti as your spiritual master to guide the sadhana. These two together are a sure shot means to expediting spiritual progress towards attainment of the ultimate goal. While Sadguru Sivananda Murti's disciples gained from their association with him, even those seekers who are not initiated into sadhana directly by him can achieve the best results if they simply comply, albeit strictly, with the above two criteria. Rest assured that Sadguru is constantly with the sadhak during this entire sadhana procedure, guiding her or him and removing all obstacles, whether physical or circumstantial. Therefore, as soon as a thought for sadhana arises, one can immediately commence on as is where is basis without any need to wait and accomplish fitness goals that generally precede sadhana. Sadguru has emphasized that dhyana yoga is necessary if one wants to communicate with their guru. Even when the guru does not exist in physical form, this yogic way of sadhana to meditate on pranava is to be understood as dhyana yoga, being referred to by Sadguru. This spiritual practice has the potential of turning into and yielding the same benefits as tapas. This is the same tapas which was the only way to achieve mundane as well as spiritual results in the ancient past. This sadhana procedure was shared by Sadguru Sivananda Murti for ardent seekers.
From the beginning of the creation, tapas has been considered as the ultimate means to realize the truth. Brahma himself found the truth, his responsibility, and the role to be played resorting to this kind of tapas. What was that tapas? It was the question, who am I, to be put to oneself and wait for the answer. This is also known as Atma Vichara or self-enquiry. This tradition has been going on since then. Even recently, Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi gave this method to a great scholar, Ganapati Muni, as an answer to his question to know about tapas. Self-enquiry is not so easy to practice. It requires enormous willpower, perseverance, and patience. Parallel to this method, yogic method to achieve the same result was secretly practiced in a few ashrams from time immemorial. The yogic method did not appear in the public domain for a very long time. It was Lord Krishna who practiced it himself, proved its efficacy, and revealed it to the world through Arjuna in the Uttara Gita. Complete methodology was not detailed in that text also, but the basic principles only were outlined. Yagoda Satsang propagated the technique in their own way, naming it as Kriya Yoga, meant for their followers. Pujya Guruji gave an extraordinary commentary on Kathopanishad in the year 1974, and based on the principles of this Upanishad, he designed his own methodology and gave it to his disciples. Dr. Satish Raghavendran and his son Vishnu have developed this app for easy self-learning of the methodology. They have also indicated a few tips as to how to retain the concentration during meditation through pranayama. They have also given the technology as to how to remain stable in sadhana through the specific uttering of the Devanagari letters Ka to Ta, 12 in all. I hope this valuable contribution will go a long way to help the sadhaks to achieve the desired result. I am Professor Raghavendran, one of the fortunate few to be initiated into this sadhana in the 80s. Subsequently, many more were initiated individually and in groups. In an outstanding initiation event that took place in Warangal in the year 2000, nearly 300 devotees were initiated into Pranava Sadhana. On that occasion, Guruji's ultimate message in brief is as follows. This chanting will activate life force from head to foot, destroying all kinds of illness. It destroys karma. Practice of 1 hour per day for 40 days will give the experience that you are not the body, which happens to be the first step in the conquering of death. You will be able to walk out of your body eventually. Group chanting is the best way to serve the country. Last, the God in you gets proactive and your sankalpa will be powerful for you and for anyone else. Thank you.
This sadhana procedure was shared by Sadguru Sivananda Murthy. Sadhana procedure step number 1. Do pranayama 11 times with the following specification of breath control. 1 unit of time inhaling, 4 units of time retaining, 2 units of time exhaling. Step number 2. Pray to Lord Subramanya Swami before starting the sadhana procedure. Step number 3. Sadhak sits in a comfortable Padmasana posture. If the sadhak performs sadhana in the Padmasana posture, it is ideal. However, he or she can choose any posture that is comfortable while maintaining the Angushta Purusha in Padmasana. This procedure is acceptable. Visualize Ganapati sitting on a 4-petal lotus at the Mooladhara location of the sadhak. The lotus petals bears the names Lam, Vam, Sham, Sam. Angushta Purusha or Inchman sitting in Padmasana posture is located at the sadhak's Mooladhara. Angushta Purusha always assumes the same posture adopted by the sadhak. The Angushta Purusha is a complete replica of the physical body of the sadhak in a miniature form with a height of 1 inch. Angushta Purusha is located on the same 4-petal lotus where Ganapati is seated at the Mooladhara location of the sadhak. Angushta Purusha starts moving up and emerges from Ganapati's head. Ganapati raises his trunk when Angushta Purusha emerges from Ganapati's head and starts moving upwards towards the sadhak's spiritual heart center. Step number 4. Locating the spiritual heart center or Mahalaya Sthanam of the sadhak. Locate the intersection of the vertical line and the horizontal line joining the 2 nipples of the sadhak. 1 inch to the right of the intersection of the vertical and horizontal line is the spiritual heart center. Place a 12-petal lotus at the heart center bearing the letters Ka to Tha. Angushta Purusha lands on the 12-petal lotus placed at the spiritual heart center of the sadhak, emerging from the Ganapati's head. Step number 3. Step number 5. Lotus petal starts moving anti-clockwise direction, 1 petal at a time, appearing before the Angushta Purusha. Keep the Angushta Purusha stationary at the heart center and the 12-petal lotus rotates. When the first lotus petal appears in front of the Angushta Purusha, mentally hear sadhak's own voice only, Om Kam Om. When the second lotus petal appears in front of the Angushta Purusha, mentally hear sadhak's own voice only, Om Kham Om. Third petal to 11th petal appears in front of Angushta Purusha, mentally hear sadhak's own voice only, Om Gam Om, Om Gam Om, Om Nyam Om, Om Cham Om, Om Cham Om, Om Jam Om, Om Jam Om, Om Nim Om, Om Tam Om. When the last lotus petal, 12th, appears in front of Angushta Purusha, mentally hear sadhak's own voice only, Om Tham Om. Step number 6. Mentally hear the Pranavam, sadhak's own voice only, emanating from the spiritual heart center of the Angushta Purusha. The speed of Pranavam is 30 utterances per minute or 1800 utterances per hour. Step number 7. After completion of step number 6, Angushta Purusha retraces his path and reaches the sadhak's Mooladhara. This completes the entire sadhana procedure. sadhak observes the Angushta Purusha strictly from behind during the entire sadhana procedure. Basically, the sadhak has a rear view of the Angushta Purusha during the entire sadhana procedure. The silhouette of the Angushta Purusha is what sadhak observes during the entire sadhana procedure. The sadhak has to mentally hear his own voice during the entire sadhana procedure. Steps 5 and 6 to be strictly adhered to. Minimum unit of sadhana is 40 minutes.
The sadhana procedure is about to start now. You have to place your instrument at Muladhara, coccyx region, what everyone knows. At the same location, Ganapati, the Lord of Muladhara, is found on a 4-petaled lotus. The inchman has to lift himself up from this chakra, which is impossible or rather very, very difficult without the grace of the Lord Ganapati. We have to lift the inchman from his earthly bondage or moorings. Short prayer to Ganapati is needed, like Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha. Imagine he responds to your prayer, as a sign of which he lifts his trunk and permits you to go through him to higher chakras. You move up step by step to Swadhisthana Manipuraka. You have to get the inchman seated at the spiritual heart center, which is nearly an inch to the right of the axis. You see the inchman slightly deviating the truly vertical trajectory and gets seated at the spiritual heart center. At the center, imagine there is a 12-petaled lotus. He has to take his position at the center. These petals are ruled by divine forces whose grace is needed for the stable stay at the heart center. Prayer to Lord Subramanya is also recommended. These petals are propitiated by chanting the respective Bijaksharas from Kam to Tam. Now, the sadhana per se starts. From the spiritual heart center, the Pranavanadam Om is imagined to be emanating at the speed of 30 per minute. The inchman just hears it. This is all the sadhana. The sadhana is done for a minimum period of 40 minutes. It means you have to hear the pranava chanting for 1200 times. The voice of Pujya Guruji is recorded and played for your convenience to remember it and practice it later.
Om Kam Om. 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 Om Gam 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 Om. Om Gham Om. Om Gham Om.
Om Nam Om. Om Nam Om. Om Nam Om. Om Nam Om. Om Nam Om. Om Nam Om. Om Nam Om. Om Nam Om. Om Nam Om. Om Nam Om. Om Nam Om.
Om Cham Om. Om Cham Om. Om Cham Om. Om Cham Om. Om Cham Om. Om Cham Om. Om Cham Om. Om Cham Om. Om Cham Om. Om Cham Om. Om Cham Om. Om Cham Om. Om Cham Om. Om Cham Om. Om Cham Om. Om Cham Om. Om Cham Om. Om Cham Om. Om Cham Om. Om Cham Om. Om Cham Om. Om Cham Om. Om Jam 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 Om.
Om Nim Om. Om Nim Om. Om Nim Om. Om Nim Om. Om Nim Om. Om Nim Om. Om Nim Om. Om Nim Om. Om Nim Om. Om Nim Om. Om Nim Om.
Om Tam Om. Om Tam Om. Om Tam Om. Om Tam Om. Om Tam Om. Om Tam Om. Om Tam Om. Om Tam Om. Om Tam Om. Om Tam Om. Om Tam Om. Om Tham 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 Om. Om Tham. Mentally hear the pranavam in your own voice, emanating from the spiritual heart center of the Angushta Purusha. Om chanting in Sadguru's own voice. Speed of pranavam is 30 utterances per minute or 1800 utterances per hour. This sadhana procedure is successfully completed.
Om
After the sadhana duration is over, the inchman descends to the Mooladhara, his natural position.
Angushtamatra Purusha. Questions. 1. Who is Angushtamatra Purusha, also referred to as inchman, given his size of an inch? What is the special benefit to the sadhak of using Angushta Purusha to perform sadhana? Answers. The inchman is a complete replica of the physical body of the sadhak, but miniaturized to have a total height of 1 inch, the size of one's thumb. The inchman undergoes all the experience of sadhak's physical body. Inchman normally resides at the Mooladhara but could travel upwards to Anahata. Inchman is made up of ethereal material and contains a dot of bright light within itself. The dot of bright light Tejas is the Atman present in every Jiva. The zone around Tejas is less bright because human beings' samskaras or tendencies pollute the Atman. At the time of death, Inchman leaves the body and retains his original shape for some time. Eventually, the original shape is lost but carries with it a bright dot surrounded by samskaras, less bright zone, and waits for his next birth. When an opportunity for rebirth occurs, Inchman enters the mother's womb in the 4th month of the pregnancy, which is the exact time of his rebirth and different from the time of birth recorded at the delivery of the child. When the Inchman evolves through sadhana, all samskaras are left behind, loses its original shape, and the entire body of the Inchman is covered with brightness, which was once a small dot. In fact, Inchman is divinity at the end of evolution and at the beginning of the evolution. The samskaras pollute the Inchman, restricting its tejas to a dot and fixing his form. Who is this divinity? Inchman is Rudra himself. Rudra Namakam states, salutations to the one sitting, standing, running. The Inchman performs all these activities. Therefore, Inchman is Rudra himself, but polluted temporarily due to human samskaras, and regains his original tejas after the complete realization of the results of the sadhana. It is stated, only Rudra should propitiate Rudra. Sadashiva came as the 5th Brahman Rudra to destroy the creation. Therefore, Rudra and Sadashiva are one and the same. Hence, utilizing Inchman to perform sadhana is tantamount to making Rudra pray to Sadashiva. This technique enables the effort of sadhak to become super effective in achieving the goal of sadhana than performing sadhana utilizing senses and mind. Question. What is Nada Moolanveshana mentioned in the chosen yogic methodology? What is Nada? Where is the origin of the Nada? What is meant by Anveshana or search? What are the benefits of this search? Every human being has a location within themselves called Dharakasa or hidden space, which is the ultimate merging point of the Angushta Purusha or Jivatma. Dharakasa can be taken as Atman's location and contains a dot located at the spiritual heart center, slightly right of the center of Anahata Chakra on the same plane of the human being. It is difficult to reach and almost impossible to enter Dharakasa. When one enters this small place, the actual space inside Dharakasa is so vast as the space outside. The primordial Nada emanates from that location. What is Nada? Nada is not a sound, but is the origin of the sound. When Nada is disturbed, sound is produced. The Nada emanating from Dharakasa is Pranava Nada. The sound form of it is Om. The sadhana consists of the Inchman trying to hear the sound Om emanating from the Dharakasa in sadhak's own voice. Whenever one hears a sound, attention is naturally drawn towards its origin. This is referred to as Nada Moolanveshana. One day in the future, the Angushta Purusha of the Sadhak enters the Dharakasa and merges into the Atman, which is the penultimate goal of sadhana. Best practices suggested for sadhana. Body consciousness is the primary obstacle in the path of evolution of the jiva. Rudra is the ruling lord of body consciousness. Therefore, earnestly seeking Rudra's grace through Rudra Parayana dilutes the tendencies of Dehatma Bhavana of the sadhak to expedite reaching the goals of sadhana. Performing pranayama strengthens the sadhak's focus on sadhana and prevents the sadhak from getting perturbed from any disturbances. When the Angushta Purusha evolves through sadhana, all the samskaras are left behind, loses its original shape, and the entire body of the Inchman is covered with brightness, which was once a small dot. In fact, Inchman is divinity at the end of the evolution and at the beginning of the evolution.